G'day and welcome back for more Archean with me and Wasted. And Wasted potentially teaching me stuff.
Debatable.
And me potentially remembering some stuff.
Let's all find a way of distracting himself from it.
Yeah.
I know.
Like lots of concrete.
Literally anything else.
There was something I wanted to check. Yeah. You know how it says we've got 81 kilowatts throughput?
Mm-hmm.
The actual power generated is 408 kilowatts. I don't know where the other 320 are going. Oh, I also need to change my stream info.
No, that 81 it's showing us is the charge rate.
Yeah. Is there a
Not
max
the total.
charge rate? I didn't think there was, because the
That's
batteries
what it's
can
saying
transfer
the
so
charge rate
quickly.
is at the moment. Right now, and if I check the final battery, the charge rate is 81.4. It's correct for that.
So I think what I probably need to do is connect up a data cable to this last one in the sequence to see what its power output is.
Or the last RTG.
Yeah, the last RTG. Because it gives the summary, it gives the sum of all of the previous ones in that series.
No, I realise.
But then I don't know what the throughput is.
Is it actually throughput, or is it something else?
Or, hang on. Oh, that's the charge rate. That's not throughput.
Yeah, indeed.
That's the charge.
That's
Yeah.
what I said.
Sorry, I was typing things and I sort of only half heard what you said. My bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's the rate it's charging at.
Hey. Okay. I don't really think we even need that info. But
No, but
we've got it.
enjoying putting things on screen.
Yeah.
So was the entire deal with that there. Splitsy learns to put stuff on a screen.
Well, I mean, the battery charge is useful because we want to know that these 5 batteries are actually charged and how close we are to draining them, because they're kind of our buffer. Okay. Maybe I will start today by trying to get the output, the max output from that RTG on screen and see if I can get that working to kind of reinforce what I did last week, and then we can move on to other things after that.
Sure.
That sound not too much like I'm trying to get out of things?
Something like that, Mr. Splitsy. Something like that.
I figured it sounded sensible enough that I'd get away with it.
Sort of. I mean, a little bit of me of thinking, right, well, what he's doing is he's trying to distract me at the start of the stream, wait until I get busy, at which point maybe I won't hassle him to continue.
No, I do have mixed feelings, but it's not something I actually do want to legit avoid. I just have mixed feelings because I'm terrified of how hard this is going to be and how much it's going to hurt my brain. It was funny, after last week, Again, it was brought up, and I really hope that they do something like this. Give us a key for placing on the opposite side of a block with cables.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So you don't have to go into drone mode to place inside walls. Where am I? Oh, I'm over that side. Okay. Need to go all the way under. Still further. Okay. That was pretty much all my remaining data cable. Oh, something else. I was wrong, you were right. If we put a fluid junction in, we can just pump water straight in. As well as the other two.
No.
I don't know if Pacioli still has time to watch these or not. I know he was watching them, but then they went on holidays and we haven't really seen him around much since then. I don't know if they're still on holidays. And it's also like what stage they're at with their development process, because they were talking about like going back to focus on adding more features rather than refining exactly what's there, which changes the focus. I need to remember to have this these code blocks fully zoomed in so people on stream can actually read anything that's there.
I don't know. I mean, there's two ways of looking at that. You can fully zoom it in so people can on stream can see what's there, or you can not fully zoom it on so people on stream can't see what's there.
True.
Both have benefits.
True. Input 3 RTG. Generated power watts. Output power watts. Ah. What's the... Should be the same while the batteries are charging. Those two values. I don't think I want to know the generated. I think I want to know the actual output. You want the output power. Then math, divide. I'm going to have a C. The number. Then. Okay. This part of it is actually should be the easy part of it. Aha! I can see it in the reflection. It's worked. Yes. Okay. I think Oh, I keep closing it. I need to minimize it, not close it. What is your power output? Kilowatts. And nope, that's an at. That thing's just going to keep getting longer and longer, isn't it? Yay! Add another text block, you say? Oh, that's where everything went wrong last time, though.
I was going to say, can Splitsy manage it unaided, but he's not unaided. He's got chat.
I've got it displaying, but now my chat's telling me instead of having one really, really, really long line, I should have multiple text boxes, and that's where things went wrong last time. But I'll give it a go. What is this node? I'll just do this. Yeah.
I note that we've made the executive decision to go nighttime.
No, it's sunrise is coming.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Then we're in.
Delete. C. Nope, I broke it. Wait, what is this? Is an and? That's confusing. But I suppose so.
Why is an and confusing?
Well, because I didn't. Because I have to do B and C, not B, comma C, comma D, etc., etc. I guess I do B and C and D and whatever as I add things.
Yes. They're all in no single line like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's working now. I haven't broken it, and it's a bit easier to read in the program. So, yay. Cool. So we got a power management screen. I have a whole bunch of concrete. What are you working on, Wasted?
Centering the plane.
Oh, censoring the plane.
Yes.
Oh. I'm surprised you didn't try, you weren't keen on starting a new build.
Well, I wasn't sure how long it was going to take you to get the bits you were working on done, and you suggested that following that, there were going to be something to do. Well.
Well, what build are we going to work on next, actually? We probably want to talk about. Are we doing flyer or are we doing better boat? I figure the plane works well, so better boat probably makes the most sense.
Yeah, yeah.
I know we talked about base design stuff last week, and I've already forgotten most of it.
Oh, we were going to do multiple different grids. And
Yeah.
connected together with power lines.
Yeah. So... what does that mean? What was I going to do? I had plans, I had ideas, and they're all gone. Sometimes the downside of doing one stream a week of things, so easy to forget.
Yeah, definitely.
Upside is you tend to not burn out on it so quick.
Downside is you forget the controls every week.
Yep.
Especially when you're playing a multitude of different games at the moment. I kept blowing myself up in EDF because my push-to-talk keybind in Eco is not the same as it is in every other game. And so, for some reason, because I'm an idiot, decided that setting it the same as it I used everywhere else would be boring, and instead I'd be better off reversing it with my usual, like, normally it's on mouse 5 and I use mouse 4 for whatever useful ability it might be. This time round I switched it backwards, so I spent the entire day today killing myself with my own plasma ball as I tried to unmute and mute myself.
That's amazing.
Lessons were learned.
At least EDF's a fun game to kill yourself in.
Especially as that plasma ball also launches you to orbit when you do it, so...
So you get the full ragdoll experience at the same time. Right. Oh, why did I not build a door last time? There was a reason and I don't recall it.
Did you what last time?
Not build a door.
Do we have the correct frame, etc.?
Yeah, I put a frame
Attach
there.
it to?
There was a reason though, and I don't think it might have been before we went to the bottom of the ocean, maybe? Oh, well, I'm making one now. Or at least it said it was making one. Has that made 2 docking ports? Yes. Okay. Move that over there. Oh, did you want me to teach you? Did you want to teach me the PID and sensor stuff while you're setting it up on that plane, or were you going to set it up and then show me how it works? What was the desired approach there?
Well, I was figuring that it was one where we could quite easily go, cool, here it is.
Yep.
This is sort of the setup for it, but I'm having a quick look at how the code is set up on this to begin with to make sure that it's a relatively simple 1, 2. Adjust.
Make all the diodes. Okay. Need 10 LED. Oh man, so much stuff for this thing. So connector 6, LED 10. Got enough connectors. Got enough LEDs.
Hell, the plane doesn't have any roll controls?
The plane doesn't have roll controls.
Doesn't
Yeah,
look
it does.
like it.
Yeah. But
Oh,
I've got them
blimey hell.
direct. So it's just so that I could tap and have fine control.
No. It's not.
No?
Delete current file, stupidboat.exe.
There we go.
Forgot that it still had the remnants of the boat code on it from when it was a boat briefly. And so was messing with that going, this is weird. Why is this set up like it is? This looks like a slightly more sensible batch of code. Still not. Why is left right on a counter? That just doesn't make any sense. You should just be tapping.
Oh, now my chat's wondering how this would handle pod races. It would
Depends
work.
how good you get with your PID controllers.
Yeah. I mean, pod races don't really work, is part of the problem. They work through magic. Come on. Give me the door. Yay! Oh boy. There's a high... Why is there a high voltage input for a door?
Sometimes you really want to make sure that door's shut.
That seems unnecessary. Oh, dockable as in, because, right, yep. So there's high voltage throughput through the dock. Got it. Makes sense.
Oh, boring.
Yeah. Agreed. Um... Okay. Plug in the door. I also want some light switches. Okay. Start on the low voltage batteries. Yeah, I don't know. What I'd like to do is get this little room feeling functional first. So what I want to put in here is a light switch for the light that's over there, and maybe another light up here so that we can turn the lights on and off. So maybe I'll put the light switch out. No, inside here on the left, I think makes a lot of sense. And then I want to power up the door so the door can function. And what I was thinking of doing was having another switch over here for the next output, which is going to go to a low voltage for this room. And then we have the one over here for the lights. But if I'm going to have a light switch, I sort of don't want it poking through the other side of the wall, so I think I'm going to do something a little bit odd. And do this. The light switch. There we go. And that's going to need a data junction for it because I want to put 2 lights on it, and I need to make the extra light as well. I need to make the extra lamp. There we go, lamp. And we don't have enough LEDs, I'm sure. Yep, didn't have 100. Diodes. Need more wire. I love that there's a multi and a single switch on this now. That was a great addition. Especially since it kind of came about by accident. Let's get a lamp. Then make some plastic. Is it a square screen? I think it's slightly taller than it is wide, maybe? It's hard to tell. This bit throws me off a bit. The arrows throw me off as to whether it's square or slightly taller. Oh, right, I need to add the concrete into this thing so that it can work. That's the other thing I need to do. Oh, and I need a data spool. Spools. I want data cable. And go. There we go. Wire. Multi. Oh, and I forgot the data junction. I need the data junction. Because I want this switch to operate 2 things. Data junction. And wire. Separate crafter for concrete? No, I don't think we need that yet. Like once I plug it up so that it can produce concrete, I think it'll produce it so quickly I'm not likely to use it up in a hurry. So, wow, the roof is really reflective. Should probably make it matte because that feels weird. That's better. Oh, where's my mouse? keep holding down Alt because of so many games that I have to hold down Alt to do stuff with. Oh, that's right. You can't put things like this inside a block. Guess I'll try and hide it on the wall there. One light. And 2 lights. Now we need cables for power. Yes, serious high gloss paint. I don't think it's good to have that high gloss. I need to just take a quick bio break. I'll be back in a moment. Shadow Phoenix, thank you for the Prime sub. Or build double skin walls with a cavity inside, maybe. Yeah, ultimately, if you want to do a really stylized build, I think that's what this would force. That's the sort of stuff that I kind of feel like I'm slowly going to learn the right way of doing, the right way of building for aesthetics in this game. And like all games, you just kind of have to gradually get an idea of what works and what doesn't with the things you build. Let's turn this off. I think we've run out of plastic. Nope, not plastic.
There goes Mrs. Blizzy. You're clearly deep in thought.
Was trying to work out what we've run out of to make wire. I think we're out of copper.
Yeah, there's only one thing we're going to run out of. And it's copper.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. Well, I was in the process of wiring up lights and the door. That's what I've been working on. But it might be nice to have an actual door. And there we go. Proof that sunrise is real. And that I did advance time so that we weren't going to play in the dark. How goes things over here? You realize you got the drill on?
No. I don't remember which button's which.
I don't either. I've been doing it purely based off the game sounds as to whether I fit the right button or not. Hmm. Maybe that would make more sense. Yes, that would make a lot more sense. If made things a lot neater with a very simple change.
Nice.
Which always feels good. Now, power converter. Where do I want to put that in for this? Oh, I need more junctions. Yeah, Chuck, I am basically making an oversized fuse box, breaker box, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. That was kind of my goal with this. I thought it'd look kind of neat to have something like that, because there aren't many games where you need to, let alone games where you can do that. And then I can start putting labels on them, which will probably make Wasted happy.
Yeah.
Because if he's got to ever interact with this thing, it'd be nice for him to know what things connected what. uh, yes, passing time, that would probably be a more tidy way of doing what I did, but yeah, that's fine. No! Wait, that wrong. Yes! Oh, we have lights in the little hut and a light switch for them. I don't know how the door works. I don't think you can interact with it directly. Have you done anything with the doors?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Probably a switch.
Yeah. Oh, did I plug into the wrong bit? Plugged into the wrong bit. Down here. It's pretty neat. Yeah, there we go. Now it has its own little things. Hooray! Yay! It's working!
Nice.
We have a door that opens and closes. And we have a fuse box of sorts. That makes me happy.
Don't mind me.
Do you feel like you're in a box?
Yeah, I am in a box. And confirmed, and box.
I presume you're charging the plane?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing I should probably set up is a charging thing that drains directly to it so it properly drains it.
It would be fantastic, yes. Because the plane is almost out of low voltage, and its high voltage is down to 26.
Yeah, do I have...
Its low voltage is on 0.7.
Yeah, its low voltage doesn't charge off its high voltage currently.
No, I know. And I was about to hook it together, and then I was like, you know what I should actually do is just hook that onto the base. Although as it stands, the low voltage is still going down.
Yeah, because we need to get from its high voltage to its low voltage. We don't have anything doing that at the moment.
Well, I'm plugged into its low voltage.
Huh? Yeah. But what I'm saying is its low voltage doesn't draw any power. Aren't you plugged into the high voltage?
No, that's onto a bridge. On this side. Or a converter on this side.
Oh. Oh. And it's not charging.
And at the moment, it's not charging. No, it's going down.
Okay. Let me see if I can work that out.
That was the confusing part. I was like, hang on a second. I've just taken a feed off of the high voltages into the base, converted it down. That should definitely be sending power across. The higher voltage feed is this side.
Yeah. And it should balance, if nothing else, but it's weird that it's not. Let me see what I can do. So I think I remember how to do that stuff.
So I was thinking, oh, well, I've just fixed the plane and split these out of copper. I'll go get some copper. But then the plane was out of batteries.
Make casings. Oops. Was it relays? No, it's not relays. No, it is relays. Relays have direction. I think. I remember if we use junctions or relays. Yeah, relays have direction. Okay. Let's see if just putting a relay in is enough. Although I'm going to need to also turn this thing on, which is annoying. I know there was another way we did this, chat, but I'm just seeing if this is a different way. Maybe this is why It was
I
done
know
at the
we already
junction.
knew how to do this, but I'm going to do it a different way because
Fun.
I'm Splitsy.
Did you disconnect the high voltage cable from the base?
I did.
You can reconnect it if you want. See if it works. Yep, it's charging. Cool. The reason I wanted to see if this worked is because I think this might be a better way for charging from the base so that we can turn on and off the charge while leaving the cable intact.
Mm-hmm.
There may be cause to do that.
All low voltages connected together.
I believe so. Are they not?
Or is there only... Well, because on the screen it's saying it's not charging. It's losing capacity.
Oh, because they are not connected to each other, no. I think the cable
well,
we're
that
plugged...
would be why.
I have a feeling the port we're plugged into is the port that used to connect the two of them. We've occupied a few too many ports on these batteries. All right. Let's start having a look at where these things go. What can be split? Does the computer at the front need full charge? Yes, that's a data port. Probably shouldn't use green. That's a bit mean. Let's use yellow. Red and yellow are fine to use, right? As into...
Red and yellow are fun to use.
Does this yellow stand out for you against the red properly?
Yeah.
Cool. What else can plug into that? Where's the other computer? Still at the back, isn't it? Okay, plug those. Ah, yes, cool. I think I found an extra port that we needed so that I can make all this work properly again. Okay, that's cleared a port on this one, which means I can then do this, get rid of that. And that one through to there. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Disconnect that. And where am I at? Okay, what I'm trying to do, Wasted, is reconnect the high voltage circuitry on the plane to the low voltage so that the low
Yep.
voltage can charge off the high voltage.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, at the moment, the low voltage is now finally charging, so that's good. In fact, both look like they are quite rapidly. In the sort of way you're like, man, I wish batteries charge this fast in Space Engineers.
What? How are the low voltage charging? I didn't think they were connected.
I think
What?
there's more spaghetti in there than you realise, Mr. Splizzy.
Apparently so. So that goes to there, so that's not that. That one goes to the other side. Where does that one go? That one goes to there. It's not that. Where does that go? Oh, that goes to the wheel. Right. It's on this side? I don't even know where the power's coming in from. That goes to the other wheel. Ah. Where does that go? Oh. Nope. What? So confused.
You've stopped it again. You've broken it.
I have? Has it just equalized charge across everything now?
Well, high voltage are fully charged, the low voltage are getting nothing.
Huh. Oh, I was balancing between the left and right low voltage. That's what was going on. Ah, there wasn't
That
getting
would
any,
make sense, yeah.
it wasn't getting any high
Well, getting
voltage charge at
input,
all.
it was evening out.
Yeah, okay. Right, cool. Well, this is easy to sort out then. Because that was... Yeah. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. Power converter there, into the power converter. From the power converter into that battery. Nope. Apparently need a direction of flow. So... oh, actually, yes. This I would like a switch on, so I will use the switch. So we're going to have a switch for toggling the sharing status of whether the low voltage batteries get charged from the high voltage or not. Because that was a problem and part of why we stopped them being linked in the first place.
Yep.
Okay, it is now taking charge from the high voltage, which is fine because we want to take it all, we want to charge up everything.
Yep. Yep.
The switch is under the port side wing.
Oh my god, misbalanced.
Yeah, I don't know whether that's going to be enough of a problem. Because we do have some other unbalanced things.
Oh yeah, I know. Including whenever there's not both of us in it.
Yeah.
The pilot.
Which it surprisingly tolerates okay.
Hopefully, after a couple of light additions, it should tolerate it even better. By which I mean you shouldn't have to worry about it. It should just handle that.
I just love that we've actually got a proper plug-in to fully charge the plane now. We literally just have to plug that one high voltage cable in and we're good. So I don't think this thing's been fully charged since we built it. Or even when we built it. make it easier to access the plugin. Yeah, I could probably do something like that at some point.
Yeah, managed to get me a little... Oh, there it is.
Oh, not that. I think that'll look a bit more tidy now. And more believable. Yeah. What else did I want to work on? I did want to make some proper power hookups, but I wasn't going to do that until we had like a hangar for the plane, which I guess I could start work on. Was there... Wasted, is there anything else you think should be attached to the dock other than the power distribution building? I think you might be busy with some stuff.
Oh, no, I'm messing up my mute binds again because I'm getting them the wrong way around. Sorry, what am I doing? Power distribution building.
Yeah, so this is the power distribution building because the RTGs are in the water. But is there anything else that should be on this building, or should I start trying to build a power network to some other buildings?
Yeah, I mean, starting off with stretching the poles out might be a good plan.
Yeah.
We know where things are. Yeah, no, go for that.
So I was thinking...
I don't think the only thing we could potentially put on this building is putting a solar tower either attached to it or nearby it, but yeah.
Yeah. Doing solar just to understand solar more than actually having a purpose, because the RTGs are super powerful. All right. Oh, are we going to stick with landing on the dirt, or are we going to make a runway?
Well, we were going to make a floating one, weren't we?
Yeah. Are we still going to make a floating one, or because this is so flat, are we just going to actually stick it on land? Because I could start building a runway. Oh, I should make that concrete so I can make concrete blocks as well. That's what I should do. But yeah, I could make a runway and then I can paint line markings on it and things.
Go for it.
Okay.
I mean, do we want to go lengthways? I mean, well, lengthways probably makes sense with how we're set up. Ideally, you'd go crossways so you can't crash into the base, but we've got a bit of awkward land either side of us that might be a bit difficult. Don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I put it out to the left as we're looking out at the dock. Maybe that... Oh, hang on.
You see what I mean?
Go third person and see.
There's kind of land both directions.
Yeah. I think on the...
You could stretch it out a bit and then go left, but it would be reasonably stretched out, you know?
Yeah. I kind of like the idea of it going left, because then we have to drive around it in the boat. Deliberately putting it in the more annoying place. Because if we put it to the right, we're pretty much never going to go that way, and that kind of ends up blocking off the bay. But if it's on the left, it sort of looks like a seawall. And then it's about how long a runway do we need?
I don't think we need it that long. Stuff
No.
breaks well. So far, at least.
I'm wanting a fluid junction. Oh, I need 2 fluid junctions. One there. And one here. Oh, where does that come from? Huh. Yeah, that should work, I think. I think I've got it so we can make concrete blocks. Yes, I do.
Let's see if we can. Is there copper anywhere nearby? Oh, actually, yeah.
Oh, good. So you're going to go and get a... Oh,
No, I think there's copper on our island, in fact.
Oh, that's perfect. Are you going to try and fly?
I was going to see whether or not what I'd set up worked, so that I could then be like, right, here's an easy demonstration. Now let's go and do it to another bit.
Yep. I guess testing flight with latency kind of does that.
I'm hoping that my recent changes mean that it behaves a bit better, but we'll see.
All right, runway. Let's see what we can do. It's going to look really weird at first because I'm going to have it completely floating. Oh, matte black is not great. Matte black is very dark. Kind of wish there were more color options.
You can colour, like, isn't there a colour picker?
Is there a color picker?
I thought there was a colour picker, you just do what you want.
Paint something, aim over, choose a color, hold C and move the mouse. Choose a surface position, hold C and use... Don't see an option for it. Because I thought I'd try and make this darker so that the lines I paint on it stand out.
Went to 4% copper.
Oh, nice. Oh, do you know what's going to be time consuming? Figuring out how to do the line markings properly on this and do the number at the end of the runway. Also, I don't know what the number at the end of the runway means. Do you? Or does anyone in chat?
They will know. Because it's not the runway number. It's
No.
something else.
I'm presuming it's length. It's heading. Oh. Compass heading. Interesting.
Oh, it's degrees. Yep, that makes sense.
Huh. To remove these two. East-west is 270 to 90. Cool. Today I learned something. Will I remember it? I don't know. There's something satisfying about getting to the point in this game that I'm building something entirely for aesthetics. This truly has no function, this runway, because we could just land on the ground.
Yeah, the ground is absolutely fine.
But it makes me happy. Nope, wrong. This is a north-south runway. Chat is writing confusing things that I don't understand.
That is their job. I think you'll find.
Oh. Why has the constructor stopped making concrete? I have to have a look at that.
What else have we run out of now, is the answer, Splizzy.
Yeah, I didn't think we had run out of the stuff that concrete's made of. Silicon, water, and O2.
I mean, surely we're not out of... what concrete are we making here? Excuse me? One moment. Silicon concrete.
Uh-huh.
So we... okay.
Has this turned... Oh, has the electrolyzer turned off? Does it need to be turned on?
It should. It has its own independent switch, if I'm not mistaken, down to the left of where all the crafting stuff is.
Maybe it did, but it's not actually plugged into a data port anymore. So... How did that work initially then? No. Time for a switch. Yay, okay, concrete blocks are working again. Northbound end needs 36 markings, southbound end needs 18. Which one's the northbound end? As in, is that the end you start at or the end you end at?
Well, it's probably the end that faces north, Percy.
Well, how have
I
we
suspect-
arbitrarily made this decision?
We haven't arbitrarily made the decision on which way north is. We have a sun to go by.
Oh, no, I wasn't meaning that. I meant how have we arbitrarily made the decision of which end is the end and which end is the beginning?
Runways don't work like that. Both.
I know. That's the problem.
Well, in the middle then.
Exactly. The south end is the northbound one and the north end is the southbound one. So which end is the north end that wants the riding on it? I'm pretty sure the southern end of the runway is the one that wants the 36? So 18 will go over the water.
I'm going to go for a quick bio break, Mr. Splitsy, let this thing churn away for a bit, and then I'm going to bring some copper home.
Awesome.
It's been a long and dangerous journey to 300 meters away. 247 meters away.
You drove the whole way there, didn't you?
Well, I couldn't exactly fly. I didn't really have time.
It would have been fun. It could have been fun. Now, I know, the spacing on these lines isn't going to be quite right, but I think for the sake of my sanity, not having to vary the gap size is fine, and this will look fine. Oh, nuts, I'm not going to... Oh. So there are a couple of different runway types in the pictures I'm looking at. And I don't know that I'm going to put the lines in... Oh, maybe I will. I'll see. I'll see how I feel once I've got this thing done. How in the heck do I ride a 36 though? Ugh, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how I'm going to do that. And did I say 36 over the water or I said 8? I think I said 18 over the water, didn't I? And then Wasted's going to make something that's a wide body and I need to have a wider runway and then I have to redo the whole runway. In fact, is the runway wide enough? Should I make it bigger? A giant dashboard tool. Is that wide enough? How wide's the plane? I mean, it's wide enough for the wheels on the plane. How wide is the plane? So the plane's wings will be slightly wider than the runway. What's the likelihood of us building something bigger than this plane? Yeah, I might want to make it wider before I make it so that I have to redo this whole thing. Go one block wider on each side, and that'll be enough. Well, we could always
How much do
build
you
an...
trust the
What was that?
pilot's accuracy to line up the approach angle? I think you'll find that depends entirely on how good the vehicle is.
Yeah, I just realized my runway probably wasn't wide enough. Because that's the other thing, the wider the runway, the easier the landing. But there is a part of me that looks at this runway and goes, that's silly. Now it's so wide it just looks silly. Hmm. Wasted, have I made the runway too wide?
I don't know. I'll let you know.
You gonna fly and try and land on it?
I'm already in the air.
Oh, okay. Let me build more of the runway then before you come in.
Okay, understood.
I've
I'll
only
go power for a bit.
kind of mapped it out a little bit. That is not enough room for you to land yet. Also, you don't have a heading marker. How can you possibly land? That should be enough length for Wasted to play with, I hope. Square runways are in vogue. Oh dear. Eh. Almost ready for you to attempt a landing.
Cool, giving me plenty of time to practice.
You happy with the new performance of the plane?
Nope.
Okay. That's not good. What's wrong?
I'm just not getting the adjustment I was hoping for. I need to fiddle some values.
Okay. So much concrete. So glad I didn't have to make that in my suit. Android, whatever thing. All right, I've run out of concrete, so that's as much runway as you're getting. Oh, cool. It's nice seeing... I haven't been on the ground and watched the plane flying around.
Lindsay,
Yep.
what the...
What?
That's about 3 inches of runway, my friend.
Is it? Felt longer as I was building it. Oh, I'll keep building more. I just keep running out of stuff.
I mean, I can try and land on it. I'm just saying, it's not it's neither pointing the direction I expected, nor very long.
I thought we decided on a north-south runway rather than an east-west. I am trying to get it bigger. Needs to be about 4 times longer. That's going to take a long time to build. But no, there's much chance of that happening. Deal with that later. Beginning to think maybe I should have made it more narrow so I could have made it the proper length to begin with. I mean, wasted. If you start out over the water, at least you'll end up on the land if you come off the end of the runway.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Every 3 meters of runway takes like 900 concrete cubes. Takes a lot to build. Yeah, Takara, you might be right. A second constructor just focusing on making concrete blocks might have sped up the runway, but oh well. I'm sure we'll get distracted talking about something and then I'll come back and there'll be like 10,000 concrete blocks left. Oh, this is two layers thick. Oh, something was fishy there. Hey! Just buzz the tower. Surprised you didn't ask me to stand in the way of it as you came in for landing.
It's because of the distances in this game. It's very hard to see your approach to the runway from the distance. We're going to need some indicators.
Ah. Well, I was thinking I was going to put the proper markings on there and stuff for the ends, so you can at least tell where the end is, and maybe some distance markers along it. Now that I've made it wider, should be more doable. I guess that shows that the runway really does need to be long. I was hoping to get away with something a bit more cartoon proportioned. No, it's too many. No, that's still too many. Oh wait, this is meant to be the number bit anyway. So what sort of, Jason's distracted. I'll come back to that.
What's up?
I was just going to ask, what sort of indication do you think just the end of the runway marking is what would be helpful, or is there more that we need as well? Like lights?
I think it might actually be having some towers, something that raises up a bit so that we can see from a distance, a line from a distance.
Yep.
Either that or we work out how beacons work and set those up and actually have a set of beacons, one at each end of the runway.
Yep. I mean, it may also be enough that we end up with like, it may end up being enough if we have things painted out properly as well, rather than what I had done already, which was just continuous lines, but having them actually with the dotted lines so you get more perception of distance. Oh no. Painted the wrong bit. Use the blueprint tool. Yeah, possibly.
Blueprint tool's dangerous.
I'm not sure how I would use the blueprint tool for this because it's not a separate... Oh wait, you can define what you make a blueprint of, can't you? Like the size.
I think so, yeah.
I think one more of these, and that'll leave enough space for writing the numbers in later. Then I'll do the lines. There is something satisfying about getting to a point in a game like this where you're building stuff that's done in the real world, like the real world, because it might actually be useful.
Because it's easier that way and might be helpful.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I just flew up in my jetpack to look at the runway, and it looks really short.
Yeah. Now he sees what I'm talking about.
From a plane, from the elevation, it looks really short. It's looking the part, at least. Yeah, chat, I've actually got a picture up on my other monitor of exactly what the end of the runway looks like. That's why I haven't gotten it wrong so far. And that's why I knew to ask about the numbers. I completely forgot runways had numbers. So I looked at that. Yeah, I've got weirdly... Oh, wait. That's right. This doesn't... I can't bring my screen across. Searching runway got the expected mixed results of many a catwalk runway as well.
You were looking for blueprints.
No, I just looked for images so I could copy the style and get it mostly right. Or right enough. Some of them, this bounding box that I built goes the whole way. Some of them it doesn't. I figure I'll go the whole way because it is an extra thing to indicate where it actually is and goes to. Why am I not using the mirror tool? Because I was so asymmetrical compared to the rest of the existing bit of the base, I completely forgot that I could use it and just set a different point. I don't know if you can set a new mirror point. Where you headed off in the plane now? You still testing more of the controls?
It's checking it works now. Yeah.
now it should be probably long enough for you to have a decent chance of landing on it. Ignore the small amounts of rocks that are on the runway. Can't remember what the term is for the duty to go out and check whether anything's there that you have to clean up.
Well, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't remember.
Odd.
Yes.
There we go.
Foreign object detail. Oh, I'm somewhat glad I managed to bring that down intact, given that this very much needs to be negative, and so was making me roll instead of fixing it.
That's what you'd like to hear from...
It's like, as you rolled a little bit, it went, cool, let me correct that by making you roll even further that direction.
Suppose I'll have to give a go at flying the plane to feel how much longer I need to make the runway. Oh, jeez. Doesn't take much elevation to make it go, huh. I swear a runway would be a lot longer than this. The width that it is. Feels like it should be twice as long as it is at its current width. Which means I probably want to go more out over the water, otherwise I'm going to get completely to the other side of our peninsula. It'd be worth blueprinting sections of the runway, possibly. Yeah. Now, can I remember how to do that? Do I still have a blueprint tool? No. Nuts. 10 seconds. What's that short of now? Oh, nice. You delivered a lot of copper.
Yeah.
17,500 is in there. Just have the other end hanging over the water at the other side. Not sure I want to cut our peninsula in half with the runway, but it might look interesting.
No.
What's the...
I'm in the water.
What? Where?
I'm out of the water.
Wait, the plane was able to take off even though it was...
Yeah.
Huh. That's a substantial improvement. Okay, blueprint tool. Scan a blueprint and save a blueprint of it. Aim at it and press and hold left mouse. You can press right mouse to open the blueprints panel. Now, how do I make this just scan the section of a blueprint? Because it wants to do the whole thing.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Not sure you can. You can't chop it off the base. Once a grid, always a grid. It'll just be a floating separate section. I don't think I can use the blueprint tool. I'd have to make a new section, which actually wouldn't be too hard. And might be a good idea, anyway. If I start with a frame. It's how many blocks across? 1, 2, 3, 4. And the middle section, I think, was 3. Yep, 3 for the middle bit. Oh, run out of bits. So what I think I'm going to do here is make a section that includes the two... Oh, here comes a wasted. Oh, here comes down a wasted. That's not where he wanted to end up. I saw that.
What?
I'm guessing that's not where you intended to end up.
Yeah, I kind of established that without any way of lining up where the damn runway is from afar, you're not landing on this as it currently stands regardless. Not with this plane, at least.
I kind of want to give it a go just to see how bad it is.
It's got too much lift.
Yeah, it is tricky, that aspect of it.
We don't need runway lights, it's the daytime.
Yeah, we just kind of need more runway, don't we?
More runway, and having a runway that's not the same color as the terrain behind it. might have some benefits as well.
Did you fly over it since I've repainted the lines and everything?
Yeah, but it's more
Still
the
wasn't enough.
background. Like from afar, that just is the same color as the terrain.
Oh yeah. Shall I paint it pink?
I mean, you have to.
I could paint it completely black. Like, we can do it this color. We can do it this. It just is perfect black.
Be amazing, as long as it's daytime.
Well, to be fair, we haven't really played that much at night.
No, true.
And the line markings are still white. But yes, I do need to put lamps on it for night landings as well. Yeah, I think initially I'd left it the grey, the darker grey, because I thought it would look more believable what the material was made of. So if you're right, if it's grey on grey, it's going to be pretty hard to spot at a distance. Mirrored black. Yes, mirrored black concrete. Was hoping to have done it in like a charcoal color, but I can't figure out if there is a way to do a RGB color picker. Doo-doo-doo. This has got to make it good enough, I imagine. I mean, it stands out now. The only options texture-wise are matte, chrome, and glossy. And at night, anything but matte is going to be awful. Be like driving in extremely wet conditions. Yeah, that's pretty tidy. Then I can make the blueprint match, and we can print off some more. Tiny monorail from the base to the airstrip. I don't think we can do monorails. I don't even know if we can do rails. I can't imagine a way to do it with the stuff that I know we can build in the game yet. we have an airport code for the base? Ooh.
Oh, you're right. This is your blueprint piece.
Yeah, yeah.
I was just, Betty, I am confused by your runway. This one is not attached to that one and goes the wrong direction. Why?
Yep. I had an interesting question from chat. Do we have an airport code?
Kind of need a name first.
Yeah.
Can't really have an airport code otherwise. You're delving into strange territory that I now vaguely understand. I worked in handling and check-in for like 3.5 years when I was at university. It was my job whenever I was home. To learn all the fun things, like to the extent that it was a month-long, 5-day-a-week training course in order to use the command line system that was used for check-in.
Huh.
And the entire thing was interacted with using like short code command line.
Oh.
So an input would be like the first 4 letters of the surname of the booking name followed by 2M4F1, you know, to define what people and sexes were present. And then you would put in having referenced the seat map, you would put in the codes for the various seats and then end with the flight number and specific. And if any part of that got wrong, that's how you end up with luggage on the wrong flight or people booked into the wrong flight, etc. And now you might understand how that stuff goes wrong, is because it's like a 24-digit long short code that you have to assemble on the fly, or was, that you have to assemble on the fly in order to get someone like correctly booked into the right seats on the right flight.
Yeah, I can see. I imagine it's not quite like that anymore. But presumably to try and make that less bad.
It was a nightmare. I was also worth noting that I was the only person at that time to ever 100% the examination at the end of that test. And I did it in like 45 minutes, and it took an hour. It was a 3-hour-long exam session. 45 minutes in, I just handed in my paper and wandered off. Everyone else sitting around, sweating. All right. Hope you understand that I taught myself DOS because my dad brought home a computer with no knowledge himself, just from work. They were getting rid of them. He just brought home a computer. The computer had DOS and like some random, like it came with the Lotus suite and things like that. You know, entirely business related stuff. So I was just like, here's a computer, off you go. And so I learned PCs by just typing stuff into DOS and seeing what happened. And then when it went wrong, fixing it.
I was fortunate enough to have a sibling who had learnt some of the DOS commands and taught me a lot of the basics. So that's where the runway ends because it goes below the terrain any further than that. Otherwise I have to lift the whole thing. How did you even get started? Like, how did you get a start point for what you would do with DOS? Because, like, there's no guide or anything that tells you, like, how to even begin with that stuff. There was no internet to search for it. Did you have, like, a book or...
You just talked to people and typed stuff in until it did something. Like, seriously, that was it. It was just I don't remember how I did it because I didn't have a book. I didn't have anything. I had this stupid computer and I just remember breaking it all the time. Like, it was a constant struggle because it started off with DOS, and then DOS was like quite resilient. You couldn't break it, you just couldn't get it to do a huge amount.
Yeah.
And eventually I worked out how to like change drive letters and see what was on a drive, what was in a drive. So then I could load like demos off floppy disk and so on.
Yeah. I was taught how to do, like, I think my dad had probably taught my sister, and then my sister taught me how to at least access a folder, run the executable in that folder, whether that file was on floppy disk or whether it was on the hard drive. But I can't even comprehend how you would find the necessary, and like, how you can't stumble across those commands, can you? Also, it appears that blueprints don't keep your painting for some reason. Or at least mine isn't.
Weird, but cool.
Just
the worst part was Windows 3.11. Once you got an actual operating system, because then you were given some level of control. You could actually get at stuff without knowing what you were doing in order to get at it. You know, here's a control panel with drivers in it. So if something's not working, surely what you should do is start messing with its drivers, etc.
No, my primarily what I did in Win 3.1 was ski free.
Yeah. Also, I had a knockoff sound blaster. I didn't have a real one, I had a fake one. And so, depending on what game you were playing, it would, like, pretend to be a different card.
Oh.
So, you know, different games, it would be like, in this game, it's a Sound Blaster 16 Pro, but in this game, it's an OR32, and you know what I mean? And in this game, it's just an SB Live, or a Sound Blaster alternative for the games that sort of knew what was going on. But I mean, each time round, you'd have to go through and try and, like, guess at what the UDMA and DMA and, like, IRQs were going to be for it.
Yep, I remember doing that.
Back in the day where you had to tell it, like, hey, by the way, the sound card's here, and this is how to talk to it. And the game just didn't know by automatic somehow. It was barely good times, to be honest. My first LAN experience was over a serial connection, and then later down the line, a BNC. Who can ring LAN?
I never did it at that stage of things. My LANs were all, you know, proper. I do remember the issues at the start of LANs of actually trying to set up networks and sharing and all that nonsense to try and get everyone to install the same games. And you'd be 4 hours into things and it'd still be doing the same thing. Still be trying to get Capax PC installed with various things, or even just getting it running. And yes, it was usually Capax PC that was the problem. That's not just me throwing shade for the sake of it. So I think the blueprint is helpful, but it's not as helpful as it could be because of the whole not keeping the paint. I don't know what I'm doing wrong there. I imagine there's something to it, but maybe blueprints don't keep the paint. Hey, Leafy Pew. Oh yeah, Capac had a computator well even before the actual one that you guys know. He had a Compaq. Compaq were the
Nice.
proper worst in terms of their custom case design nonsense, even back then.
I learned at school. I learned on a BBC. It was early enough for BBC and acorns being the thing.
I remember having BBCs in primary school.
Yeah, I was the sort of kid that at primary school would spend their lunchtimes coding, not coding, but writing their own MUDs.
Ah.
We had some like really quite straightforward like dungeon, text-based dungeon software.
Ah.
So yep, nerd space would be in at lunchtime, designing text-based dungeons. That
We
no
didn't
one
have
ever
anything
played.
that cool.
It got a lot less cool when I got to secondary school, and they were running acorns, and those were just like literally they're good for word processing and not a huge amount else. And then the school switched over to PCs but didn't bother to replace any of its staff. So you had an entire like IT staff that were trained on how to use an acorn, trying to control a bunch of kids that had just been given access to like a full land's worth of PCs, and poor people. Just they had no chance.
Yeah. You'd think it'd be better today, but it really isn't. There's still a massive gap between most teachers and the students that they're teaching in terms of tech side of things. There's probably a higher chance that there are some teachers that know what the heck's going on. But talking to my nieces and nephews, at least here, it's it's still pretty bad.
I mean, at the same time, how would you keep up? Well, we're a very similar age. If we weren't doing the careers we are, how the hell would you keep up?
Yeah.
And even then, let's be real, we don't keep up. You aren't quite there yet, but I have in the house a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, do you know what it is that I noticed?
She is terrifying because it's a direct connection to current like social media driven teenage culture.
Yeah.
And it is utterly terrifying. And it's also the thing that makes me realize that I have become an old man. As much as I like to think otherwise, I am an old man because I'm starting to grumble about people on my lawn for all intents and purposes.
Well, do you know what made me realize that I was like, oh, geez. Some of the uni students that I've been teaching and some of the language they use, and me being like, huh, I have literally no idea what you just said. Like, as you say, our particular industry we work in does keeps you from getting too far away. I think anyone in entertainment of any type kind of has that advantage, is that you are more likely to keep up to date with more things, or at least be able to get caught up because you don't fall so far behind most of the time. But yeah, I was like, I literally have no idea what you said, and I kind of suspect that no one in high school does anymore because that language has already become old. And these kids are 2 years out of high school. Mostly. Although Black Shadow is making her best attempts at keeping me vaguely up to date with some things, or getting me up to date. The thing is, though, she's trying to get me up to speed with stuff that I was never up to speed with when I was young anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I was also not a cool kid, so yeah, there is that that problem too.
Yep. Me too.
I was only a cool kid if you thought baggy trousers and chains and the like were a cool thing, and spiky hair. But let's be real, I was doing it about 3-4 years before it was actually going to become cool for a bit. So it kind of didn't work. I had spiky. I used to use hair gel that was basically PVA glue, but fast setting. It was awful.
Me too.
Like you couldn't run your hands through your hair. You would pull your hair out. You'd pull your scalp off if you managed to do it, which you couldn't because it was way too solid for that.
Yeah, you could scratch people with it.
Yeah, it was actually solid.
Yep. I started doing... My hair was that from was probably year 8. All the way through high school, pretty much. And I worked at a pharmacy, so I could... which sold a lot of those hair gel products.
I remember the one I was using, literally, if you would have put it onto like out of the tube and onto a plate or something, you would have gone, that there is wallpaper paste. That's what that's used for, is you fix wallpaper to the wall with that. Because it had texture to it. It wasn't even just glue. It had actual texture to it.
Yeah, I like that our industry helps us not fall too far behind, but I'm well aware that at some point
it's
Toby's
still
just
happening.
it's still gonna happen. I just hope it's mainly in the things that I was already behind with, even when I was a teenager. Watered down white glue kept the spikes for days. Oof, egg whites. Okay, Wasted, does this feel long enough? It's not proper runway long, but I think it's about as long as I've got the patience for.
I mean, it's not long enough, no, but it's not bad. I mean, I'm starting to think at this point we have it go the whole way across the island and actually pokes out into the water both ends. Eventually.
The problem with that is we'll have to build it up another, probably 2 layers. It's too low.
It'll go through the floor. Yep.
That's why I stopped going onto the island, because I'm like, oh. I think what I might have to do is load up Archean when I'm waiting for something to render or something. And, or transfer. Just slowly build this up another 2 blocks higher so it can go over the island.
To bear with me 2 seconds, Mrs. Splitsy. It has started to kick up a gale, and I can... Not only are my curtains in my room blowing around like hell, but that means the rest of the floor is coming through real nice. 1 second,
lovely.
sir. I need to batten down the hatches.
Yeah, I suppose I could try doing a tiny, like a really low angle ramp where it gets to that bit of the island. Actually, I might do the ramp as long as it can and see how far single block height can get us. Is that enough height to get over the rest of the island? It's enough height to probably get far enough for how far I want to go. Actually, building the runway up to this elevation shouldn't be too hard, because I should just be able to shift-click on the runway and then remove the bits underneath. How did I think about it? That's feeling promising. Yeah, Mr. Coleman, the stream VODs are available on Twitch on my end and same on Wasted's after the stream. They did get muted on for both of us a couple of weeks ago though, for part of it, because we had water sounds that some jerk claimed even though they probably don't have the rights to claim it. Alright, let's see how quick I can do this. Go to the ramp. No, this shouldn't be too bad. Since the painting stays. I will have to ask Wasted when he comes back whether I haven't heard of a setting that allows people to watch midway rather than watching live. Seems counter to what Twitch wants you to do. Because Twitch wants everyone live and everyone doing the same things to make sure that you get the audience engagement side of things. At least I think that's why. So I think they believe that that makes it more lucrative for them. But also on my end, my VODs go up on YouTube. I've been trying to convince Wasted to do that. And I say that knowing his chat can hear me. Which I should probably open.
Damn it. But I have also been, they are uploaded.
Oh.
What I would like to do is get them downloaded and tweaked and then re-uploaded, but I've been poking them out of Twitch, so I haven't lost any of the VODs.
Ah.
They're there, they get exported to Twitch, to YouTube, and then from YouTube I download them, edit, and re-upload. It's not perfect, but it buys me a lot more time to do it on my somewhat ropey connection.
Have you thought about doing what I do and hit record? So you have a recording on your end that's then you can put as higher quality.
But remember, my rig and your dual stream rig are not set up the same way.
Oh yeah, I know that.
My problem is if I hit record then what I get is the output including is a single audio channel, your voice, my voice, the game, and any other noises from my PC, because it's all going via the line out. So I can't split them. Whereas I know you use... Your mic goes into PC2, doesn't it? Your mic goes into your stream rig alongside TeamSpeak running there instead.
Yes, my mic goes in there, but it then also gets delivered as a line-in input to my main PC.
Yeah, so we have our setups almost flipped.
Yep.
And that makes my ability... I would need to record on my main rig.
Right. But if you're downloading it from Twitch, don't you get the audio combined anyway? You only get one audio channel?
Yes, I'd only get the one audio channel.
So would it end up being that different? But it'd save you having to download?
It would require me to have to make hard drive space for it, Mr. Splezzy.
Yes. The thing I like about being able to hit record...
There's a reason that I have... what's that? 32 terabytes of storage on the floor behind me. I just haven't done it yet.
Well, the thing that I've quite liked about having record is that I can turn off the recording. So I don't have to be recording whenever I'm streaming. Oh, you flip the control, so forward is forward and backwards is backwards.
Yeah.
Cool. I was just trying to get it off the runway so I can lift the runway up one block. Stop, plane. Stop. I realized I should be able to fairly quickly rebuild this one block higher. Trouble is, if I do it the quickest way, I will lose tons of concrete.
Eco may look different, but every time Splitsy's talking about concrete blocks, it's throwing me off big style.
What was that? Oh. Oh yeah, how's the eco going? So, as I said the other day, I haven't played eco multiplayer. How does any of that stuff actually work? Is it something you'd feel like you could describe, or is it just something you kind of have to see and use? Or, a simpler question, does it feel like something any of the people you normally play with, you could figure out a way to make an interesting setup with? /4. Obviously knowing that Shaq would never play PvP.
Shaq, you say Shaq will never play PvP. He will, but only in the certain circumstances where it fits him.
It was not intended as shade on Shaq though, because I'm
Why not?
I'm not
angle the base and let it level itself. It's going to go to space if we do that. Like literally, we'll just launch the thing.
Oh yeah, the base may not be level. It may be that the ground's perfectly level, but the base isn't. I didn't think about that.
You did make it just by dropping the block on, didn't you? So
yeah. Because
And there's not a slightly better way of doing that.
I guess you could set up like your PID stuff and make it perfectly sensor leveled and then anchor it down. Seems like a lot of setup just for a level base. I guess it might be required. And it's not like Space Engineers where we're just going to run into the curvature of the planet anyway, so it doesn't matter. We should not run into the curvature of the planet. Because it is.
Yours didn't launch
Earth
into
size.
space. Well, that's good for you. I love the fact that we have the base consists of a small shack over here now, and then there's a runway about 1 kilometer long.
Well, so my thinking had been, oh, I'll get this runway built quickly, and then that'll inform where I'm going to put the hangar for the plane. Because I was going to make a little Quonset hut hangar for it. Style thing. And then I was going to run the power cables over to that. And that would be where, like, how I start figuring out how to do power poles that are interesting.
Power poles are going to be a bit of an awkward... No, they're not. We just anchor them first. Thing down, anchor on the thing, the power pole gets built off the anchor.
Yes. But for the one, like, because we want probably the hangar to be on the same grid as the runway, for them, we just put a rotor at the top of the power pole.
Yeah.
A pivot. And then it will...
Yeah, make sure
and
that
it'll rope to the
it
pivot.
hangs like a wire. Yep,
Yeah.
got you. We were good for resources, weren't you? Sorry, I'm just hanging around waiting on composite blocks to build. I might build another crafter, Splitsy.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm going to build another crafter. All right, you're going to have to hold up a second, but this is slow and annoying.
Well, I'm not actually using up any blocks right now, so it's not a big deal for me. Right now, I'm moving blocks.
Okay, actually, we might not be too badly set as it stands.
Zeppelin 2, the reason I don't make a blueprint for this is because I can't make a blueprint of just the runway. It's the whole base. And the blueprint doesn't keep the painting, and the painting's arguably the more time-consuming part. Which is annoying. Shouldn't take me too much longer, hopefully. Half tempted to take the plane up if wasted. Wasted, do I need to know anything about how the plane handles to be able to fly it?
One, reset your altitude. Sorry, no, it doesn't reset your altitude. The plane will now automatically hold itself at a set level. Like when you go up or down, it won't try to correct itself. It will just hold itself level at that height. If you want to correct yourself back to horizon level, press 1.
Okay. Oh, I'm getting some fun visual glitches when I remove these blocks.
Yes, I'm getting some odd visual glitches today as well. Little flickerings and weirdness. Which is weird, because I don't think there's been an Archean update.
No. I wonder if it is just me placing all these blocks. Causing it.
It could well be.
Because it is when I place these blocks.
You breaking us, Splitsy?
Yeah, why not? Seems like a thing to do. Yeah, it could be the size of the grid. I'm not sure how much Pacioli expected people to build full-on bases versus just building vehicles.
Why
Wait.
you no make circuit?
Wait, so how are you going to try and make it so that the new constructor accesses the same inventory? Is that the goal?
I'm gonna slowly start setting up a self-construction system.
Okay.
Is the goal.
All right. Did you want to talk me through the PID sensor stuff you did? Or do you want to, whenever you want to do that, let me know. Because I've successfully distracted myself with a runway for pretty much this entire stream.
Yeah, no, I noticed. You did great there, Splitsy. You're doing fantastic.
I didn't mean to. Just happens.
But I did call it.
You did.
I can do. We've got 2 examples set up in the code block at the moment. Nice simple ones.
All right. Stop what I'm doing. Runway looks weird. Oh, don't worry, chat. In this, we actually could build a chain. We don't have to just make it out of a chain of things. We can just use a cable, and it'll act as a chain.
I did play Stormworks. Archean is somehow considerably more stable and complete than Stormworks is, even though Stormworks has been out for a very long time. At least in multiplayer. I don't know how Actually, no, Stormworks is just weird.
Stormworks is also...
Stormworks is just weird and kind of broken.
It's the same... Like, it feels like the levels of complexity in the builds are similar enough. But... Stormworks, you play like KSP, whereas this, you play like Space Engineers. One of those playstyles is a lot easier to get hooked on, I think.
Also, in multiplayer, Stormworks is broken.
There you go. Okay. So, again, probably multiplayer KSP, which... is a lot more broken than multiplayer Space Engineers.
Yeah. I've had fun with Dark multiplayer when that was still a thing. I'm sure it's been replaced by something more recent now, but...
Still kind of the same. It's still built on the same thing.
It's still built on the same idea and the same concepts. Where
Yeah,
it's
still
just
broken.
Like, yeah, you're basically just sinking time. And in reality, it's not multiplayer. It's can see other point of view in-game.
Yeah. Catback and I tried even over LAN.
Behaving.
And it didn't play nice. Like I think I did 8 videos on it.
Sounds like it might have successfully gotten worse, because I did a full, like, from nothing career start race to the moon against someone else. In multiplayer.
We were trying to literally co-pilot, sort of. So one of us had map view and one of us didn't. Because we were like, yeah, this will be fun. We can... we can have someone as ground control and someone as the pilot. The pilot doesn't get to look at map view, so has to be told when to do burns, and then it actually ends up being a cooperative experience. Whereas otherwise it's just parallel play, which I'm no longer under the age of 2, so not really that interested in parallel play most of the time. I try and...
Oof. The bird. Oof. I hope you don't like parallel play, because you might be under the age of 2.
No, because that's all they can do. But yeah, it's what often gets me frustrated with playing multiplayer with Capac is that he does tend to devolve into just playing on his own beside you rather than actually playing together.
Hmm. I mean, some games that we play together are difficult to do otherwise. Like I would argue that Abiotic Factor honestly is not a great cooperative game.
Yeah.
There are so few mechanics that have anything to do with you cooperating.
Yeah, other than the fights.
But even the fights is just like half the time you hit each other.
Yeah.
And honestly, I find the combat in Abiotic Factor to be probably its weakest point because it is just go and mash the button on the enemy, hope they die before you do.
Yeah.
Nothing else really makes any difference.
I think that's fair, quite fair. It's a trouble with all of those exploration survival games.
A lot of them, yeah. There are some that have managed to find a way of making the combat more meaningful, but it's rare.
And I think that lack of co-op side of things becomes more apparent the more people you add. With just 2, you can usually get away with it.
That should be a challenge, Big B, we should throw his way. Can Splitsy Secret Queen in less than 4 minutes?
You what now?
Can you Secret Queen in less than 4 minutes? Can you do a sub 4 minute Secret Queen?
What is Secret Queen?
The final race on screwdrivers?
Oh. I see. I'm gonna guess only if I manage to do it by accident.
The records are sub 3 minutes.
Yeah, I still stand by my statement of only if I do it by accident, as in I accidentally get a design that works weirdly well.
Well, you're better than that.
It really depends on the day. Honestly. You'd seen some of the stupid stuff I've done in Kerbal Space Program, you'd doubt that statement.
Right, you.
Yep.
Open the thing.
I have opened the thing. I see PID controller.
Yeah, we have 2 blocks that involve a PID controller. So 2 different variants. One is the counter variant and one is the non-counter variant. Essentially.
Wait, where's the other PID controller?
Directly below it. There's one in QE and there's one in up-down.
Oh, right. I just completely missed it because of the line that runs slightly over it. Was I blind? Okay.
Okay, so PID controller basically takes an input that you set, the set point. That input can just be a number, or it can be an actual input, like Q and E. So at the moment, that top one's just doing 1 and -1. And the process value is a desired goal, is the easiest way of thinking of it.
Okay.
Between the two, it's not even quite right. The set point is the desired goal. The process value is how you want to get there, the modifier you want to apply.
So
what's happening is you're taking... And right, actually, let's start with something super easy. Do you want to take over editing?
Sure. You need to save it?
Go for it.
Alright.
So, important one first. Add an output on the set point, on the exit of the PID controller, or print.
Or print. How do I do that?
It's just in the output list.
Output. I'll just like that print thing. Yep.
Yeah, this is super useful because it just whacks whatever's coming out of the thing into the console at the bottom.
Ah, right.
So if you connect that onto the output of the PID controller, you can now see what the PID controller is reporting.
Do you need to get in the seat to give it some commands?
If
for
you
it
just
to start
save, it should start spamming in the bottom left.
Yeah.
There you go.
Minus 0.009827.
Yep. Right now, the tilt, we are leaning ever so slightly off.
Yeah. Thanks,
Now, if you
JFix.
do add another print to the output of the tilt sensor.
Thank you for 4 months. Okay. Output of the tilt sensor. So now there's a difference between the two?
Oh, sorry, add to the output of the negative, because obviously we're using that negative to flip that output.
Yep. So it's positive.
Well, so now you can see it's doing some modicum of attempting to correct. So you can see sort of the difference between what the tilt sensor's doing and then what the output is essentially trying to bring it back to a norm. So now if you sit in the pilot seat, I'm not in the pilot seat, am I? No. Go into the pilot seat, don't close the code thing, just click in the background.
Yep. Why is there a data port right and hovering in midair?
I don't know. I don't see that. Oh yes, I do. What the? I don't know.
Okay.
All right, now if you hit Q and E.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if we were in the air, you'd obviously see it doing more because your tilt is only slightly off, so it's only trying to correct a tiny little bit at the moment.
Yep. Okay.
So that gives you a bit of an idea what that controller's doing. Now, if you see you've got that section on the controller, P, I, and D.
Yeah.
Now, generally, you're only going to mess with P because the other two are to do with essentially prediction and historical data, and how to combine prediction and historical data and how to consider those in the calculation. But if you change that 5 to a 1, we should see all of the relative numbers change as essentially lower number, more aggressive.
They seem to be the same. Oops.
No, if you look down now, they've become identical to each other, which they weren't before.
Yeah.
With a 5, it was applying a small amount of adjustment. With the 1, you're getting a 1-to-1 relationship. So a direct correction of the tilt sensor input.
I was doing 1/5.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then obviously below 1 values can be used as a multiplier instead. The only important thing with these and just in general that we should start getting used to doing is using, you can see I've got a clamp on the output.
Yeah.
To keep it between -1 and 1. The counters and a number, anything other than a raw input, like this one is capable of going over 1 and under -1. And
So
that, you can get some really...
What does that do if it goes over those values or under those values?
It means that when you press the key, it won't do anything for a while because it has to bring itself back down to the values that the aileron's expecting. So if you're outputting 5, but it's not going to move until it's below 1, you've got to sit there and hold the key until it gets below 1 from 5.
Yep. I get it. It's kind of like how when you had the reset to 0 setup and we were doing everything as a throttle, how you have to move it all the way through the positions to get it back to...
Yeah.
Which is where I wasn't able to keep the plane as level as I can when I can just press Q and E and quickly adjust and make quick adjustments. Right.
So this one at the moment, will currently, what this does is on the Q&E, it holds us, essentially holds us level, and it's actually quite aggressive. So I've intentionally placed in a roll sensor above it.
Yep.
Now, what the roll sensor will do is instead, so if we replace the tilt sensor here with that roll sensor,
so bring this
you can imagine
down.
the tilt sensor is trying to bring you back to level.
Yep.
Whereas the roll sensor is just trying to stop you from twisting. Because it's just tracking how fast you're rotating, not what angle you're at. So that adding that in now switches this over to a different setup where instead of trying to hold you level, it will just try and stop it from rolling for other means. Like, unless you're telling it to roll, this now tries to prevent it.
So to use Space Engineers as an analogy here, this is like setting a gyroscope to override 0.
Override, yeah.
The other one is like trying to adjust the override to bring you back to 0.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, this one's creating a break. The other one was actively fighting against you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Cool.
So the different sensors going into the PID controller have slightly different results, depending on how you use them. And then down at the bottom, just below this one, you've got a slightly different setup, which is a setup that's designed to essentially allow you to have persistent control, but when you want to, and a smooth control by the PID controller, but when you want to, let the PID controller take back over again.
Yep.
So the way that works is just a set point. So our target is what our increment is.
Yep.
On the counter. So it's trying, we tilt the craft, it's trying to hold that tilt. So it'll auto level at the angle we've set.
Yep.
But at any point you press 1, which is the reset, which brings us back to 0 on the counter, the PID controller tilt takes over and goes, hey, well, we're now tilted from 0, bring us back to 0.
So how is this determining which is, like, how is it saying, hang on, let me think through what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, no worries.
How is the program determining whether to do things by the PID controller or do things by our input?
Well, it does things by both. And it depends whether or not it's the difference between
the
a
PID
set
is using
point
the
and
set
a process
point.
value.
Yeah. So why does it, does it prioritize a set point over the process value?
It's not even a prioritizing the set point over the process value. It's almost like the process value is used to achieve the set point.
Okay. Yep.
So it reads the tilt, processes it, and goes, how far away is this from our set point? Apply the appropriate adjustment to reach set point. And that how hard it applies that adjustment is defined by our P value.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think I understand it.
Joe, thank you. That's an easy way of describing it. It tries to make set points and process value the same.
Yep. Cool. All right. I think I have some understanding of it. I don't think I'd be able to make it myself from scratch, but looking at yours and copying it, I reckon I'd start to get a handle of it and be able to.
Now, I don't know, is it possible? Can you give me admin? Is that something that works?
I don't know. My options for you are teleport and kick.
Just ideally, I'd like to show you a slightly more complicated version of it as well. If you know what I mean? So you get an idea of like, okay, that's the super basic one. Here's sort of when you take it a bit further, how you can get it to do something a bit more than that. And then I've intentionally left the rudder at the bottom without such a thing applied.
With the goal of...
With the goal of forcing you to do it.
Okay. Well played. Let me fix the runway up and then I'll give that a crack.
Oh yeah. I got my teacher materials well prepped. We got two different demonstration examples, one which we can modify and show a different way in which you can reuse the same equation, and then finally, one for you to fill out. Yeah.
So to paraphrase a thing that gets thrown my direction a lot, tutorials when wasted?
I'm getting there. I'm not quite there yet. I need to talking to you about it and like trying to teach you about it is helping me get my head a bit more solidified around how the whole setup works, so that at some point, yeah, I think I will do some basic tutorial. Nothing too complex, but in reality, this is one of these games where you can do an enormous amount, but you can do an enormous amount just with some basic understanding of like some simple code setups. And then the rest of it is like, yeah, it's very fancy and you can do some really fancy stuff, but it's the 5% functionality, not the...
Yes, and I would also probably say...
85% you're getting from the really basic stuff that just means you can understand how to use it on a simple level.
Yeah. Also, though, the kind of people who are looking at doing the more complex stuff, they're probably going to look at a written tutorial, if anything, not any sort of video guide. Whereas the people who are struggling with it all and just want the basics.
Yeah, I'm going to watch a video. Yeah, no, indeed. Because anyone that's looking for something more complex needs the written format, because honestly, a video does not allow you to copy-paste.
Yeah.
It's an important feature when it comes to...
I should not have removed all the other side. I did this the wrong way.
Getting them is splitting. That's part of the reason I'm trying different things, is to try and solidify it a bit. Use the same system for a different purpose, and make sure I understand the system more than I learn how to build this one thing.
There was an interesting suggestion of something that might be worth trying to work out when you're not just wanting to work on controls, which is make some switches for the ore scanner that send the information to the ore scanner to tell it to change to a different type or to change its scanning radius without having to do it in code.
No. We need a throttle lever for the scanning radius.
Yeah.
And crank it up. More power.
It's only a throttle for the speed of the thing would be fun.
Yeah, we just a pair of throttle levers. One for the speed, one for the distance, and then you have a bunch of buttons to select your ore. Honestly, that's just a whole bunch of variables. What's I gonna do? I had a plan.
Hey, Dragon Tour.
Yes, I was continuing on project. I would like a second crafter, please.
Yes. I am hopefully getting close to... We have a runway that's actually usable. Just don't have to wait for the blocks. Yeah, touchscreen with all the minerals. Up, down for range. Using the... Yes. Maybe Maybe it's something I
could
could
do a
eventually
touchscreen.
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just for the mechanical fun, a throttle just for the rotation speed. How close to the end am I? Oh, close. Good. I think I have an idea of how I can do the numbering on the runway without it being too painful.
Hmm.
The idea I had was basically build the plane beneath it. So build a flat surface and then just basically write it out and then fill in the gaps and then delete the surface underneath. Should be the quickest, easiest way to do it, I think. Bonyetti, I'm not sure if you can do the scanner with just nodes. I think you probably could. You'd have to obviously make up your own scanner thing though, because the one that's there does not use nodes. That'll do. All right. Let's see how likely this is for me to get this working. So outputs, we probably want to move over there. Oh. Wasted has made us an actual break. Cool. I didn't know that. Functions PID controller. On the runway, you can have Splitsy logo on one end and Wasted on the other. I wonder how Wasted would feel about this suggestion. Pixel art logos on each end of the runway.
It's okay, I suppose.
Feel like it might be a bit more work for mine than yours.
Yeah, mine is like almost intentionally quite straightforward like that.
Yep.
We have no carbon.
What?
We have no carbon.
Oh. You made a lot of plastic. That'll be why.
I left it running by mistake. Plastic makes quite quickly, so now we have plastic. Congratulations. And no carbon.
And I only have silicon and... Oh wait, no, I've got some carbon on me. There we go. We have some more carbon again. Okay, so left, right. For some reason, we have going through a negative.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Both of those go through a multiply, but our left doesn't. I put one in because I might need to adjust it.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, now, where is... Do we have a...
I'll
Wait,
get
what?
your census. Actually, no, I won't get your census set up. Ignore me. I'll make you do it.
I was about to say, do we have a sensor or do I need to build a sensor?
I know I have a sensor for you. I was just putting it down, and then it dawned on me that no, you will have to place the sensor.
Oh,
Well,
the
I know even better.
the sensor is the thing that's floating in front of the seat.
No, it's not. That's I might have accidentally placed one there, but it should not. Yeah, it is. I need that back. Thank you.
So you got sensors on top of the plane here.
Now, which sensor do we need, Mrs. Blissey? Ah.
Yeah, how do we determine your...
Well, no, I mean you've got okay, so you've got two sensors you've experienced so far: a tilt sensor and an angular velocity sensor.
Ah, I think angular velocity is what we need here, isn't it?
It is indeed. Yeah. An Amazon delivery. 2 times angular velocity sensor.
Do I need 2 of them?
No, but
Okay.
I was lazy. The router is down here, and you'll need to give it an alias and pick a good spot for it.
There shouldn't be any reason why it can't go with the other ones. As far as I can think. Toby Rob,
Nope.
This is...
Could be good.
The programming language here is Xenon Code, which is a programming language built for this game. I think. So for this, it'll be Y that I'm looking at. Cool. All right. So how do I get that in now? Where are these other sensors? Input. Oh, you've... Yep. I have to name it. Input by alias. How do I find the alias of it? Name the port. Okay.
His little helmet poking through the wing over and over again.
Yep. Just decided I should probably try and make this neat since you've made yours somewhat neat.
I tried a little bit at least.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is a good place for the sensors to be, so... Not perfect, but we can't get them in a perfect spot because we've got stuff there, so... As close to center of mass tends to be a pretty good option.
So how do I set the device alias?
Look at it, press V. And it's just a text box you can enter
Oh, on the
Stuff
actual
into-
device.
on the actual item, yeah.
So I call it your sensor. That kind of works.
And then when you go to add an input, if you add an input alias and then just type that in, you'll get full access to all of it.
Cool.
Which is important for sensors because they, like this one, has
Yep.
3 different outputs.
So that goes to the process value. And then that should be the same thing because I've got the your sensor going to the process. I've got increments
All right.
going to the PID
Axis?
controller. I think I've got the right axis, yes. I don't know whether it's going to need to be made negative or positive.
Made negative or not. Yeah, that's always a funny one. Now, I've been intentionally putting in the negative math blocks. You can technically make your P in PID negative, but I have sort of made a rule with myself that I'm always going to put the negative block in because it's way easier to spot in the chain and fix if you need to.
Yep, I like that. If I'd been able to do this style of visual programming for MES in Space Engineers, I would have been able to do so much more.
Tell me about it. It's an impressive system. Actually, this will break the game for a bunch of people and carry it for a bunch of others.
Yeah. In theory, I think I've got it set up, but I'm not sure. Might.
Yeah, outside of potentially needing to be negatives, I think you've got it sorted there. And the easy way to test is you can immediately put in some prints.
Yep.
On the input and the output, and then just like drive a bit. You know, even if it's on the ground, it'll give you some values to look at.
We did that from
Output a sensor and output a PID controller.
all right.
We're basically looking to see if the PID controller is correctly cancelling.
Yep, so it's saying 0
now. All you need to do is generate some amount of angular velocity and see whether the numbers are the same or if they're different.
Okay. So let's.
We also have a couple of bits we need to fix. You haven't set a multiply value, and that means that multiply won't work at all at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
It's also a really good practice to set a maximum and minimum for the counter.
Okay.
Both the counter will happily go over 1 and under -1.
Yep. This was the problem you were talking about before as well.
Yeah. And we put the clamp afterwards because the PID controller will also go over 1 and -1 if it wants to. So this just keeps everything in line. And also, as you've done here, gives you a bit of a controller going, hey, chill out a bit. Although, understand that because of the way this is set up with the -0.5 plus 0.5, both the correction and your steering have been limited by that amount.
Okay. This is steering super fast. Like when I'm tapping it just once, it's going almost to its maximum. Even with the multiply set to 0.05.
Which chances are means that we do need to reverse your sensor potentially. But
Oh,
I've
see what-
noticed that it's an issue I've had a lot, and I thought it was lag, but maybe it goes further than that.
It's still pretty instantaneous. Hmm. Lower the p-value? Okay, take it to 5.
No, that won't help.
No, it's the rate of input.
It is the rate of input.
Let's just do stupid low. Okay, that is actually impacting it. It's just, it needs to be super, super low. I think that's more, maybe even half that. Yeah, that feels more correct. 0.005 multiplier.
I'm inclined to do that a different way in future.
Okay.
But that works for now.
All right, should we give this a flight test?
From the perspective of, I think it might make sense to start delaying the inputs. Because that seems to be the problem, is you can't tap it.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. Let me do you a favor. No. No, I can help you out here, Splessy.
Okay.
If you also steer, we'll turn even better. Because I hooked the wheel up on the back to your steering.
Oh, yes, you did.
Whoa, okay, now we're turning really well. Now we got some serious control. What the hell? We got weird crab walking.
Hang on, I can't turn back the other way. Oh, I think it was not liking... Oh, I think it's... Hang on. Hang on. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I think I might need to... Is there going to be an issue with the counter minimum being higher than the clamp?
Apparently this vehicle is very balanced.
Extremely so, yeah.
Holy moly.
Those wheels are basically perfectly placed under the center of mass, apparently.
What's your problem?
I think the min-max being larger than the clamp means that I don't get any input when I get outside the clamp values.
Yeah, indeed.
So I should make them 0.5. 0.5.
I don't think having the clamp is a great plan.
Oh, do you think just get rid of the clamp?
I think the clamp's in the wrong place. If you want to have a clamp, that's not where to put it. Put the clamp on the output. But in this case, I would put the clamp to 1 and -1. Just don't let it go outside bounds that you can input.
Yeah, it was... I left it there because it was already there. And it was there on the other nodes.
But in particular, that clamp is there for the purpose just of keeping it within 1 and -1. As soon as you start changing that, you're going to end up with some slightly weird effects of how the counter and the PID controller combine. Because they're not limited to 1 or -1.
Yep.
The PID controller can go where it wants, so it can start inputting 5, while your controls are inputting 1 at most.
Oh no.
If you press 1, it will level you out.
Yeah, the pitch controls are not inverted.
Give me 1 moment.
Wow. The auto level is quick. And now we're
It's
rolling.
aggressive, isn't it?
Oh, and it cuts the throttle.
When I save the program, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
I just did again. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
Both needed inversion.
So I've set the yaw, and is it meant to just hold there, or is it meant to go back to 0? It's meant to hold there, right?
It's meant to hold there, yeah.
Then how do I get it back to straight? Because I don't think I
With a
set
reset
anything up
that
there.
we don't have.
Yeah.
Put it on 1.
So everything will reset at the same.
Resetting computer. Are you ready?
Okay. Oh, look at this turn. Wasted, you need to look at this at external. It just feels
Yeah, I mean
fantastic.
that's what it should be able to do now, is relatively smoothly maintain it when you give it an angle, you give it a spin. It
Yep.
should just sit there and quite happily maintain its height and level and all of those various bits without you having to interfere with it. So it sort of flies itself.
Yeah, the game has
Now
full...
you see why PID controllers are cool.
Yeah.
Because it takes some of the difficulty out of designing. Obviously, it helps a lot if you've designed it relatively well, but whack one of these on top and it's like, yay, now I just get to fly it instead of having to fight it. And then now think about the potentials, for example, the, I don't know, automatically moving fluid between various tanks in order to achieve stable ballast. Or...
Yep. That will be very useful. Okay, I can see the runway, and I have some idea of which direction it heads because it's this big black strip out there.
Yes, that color change has helped a lot. You're quite high, which I found to be the problem of this plane, is it doesn't really want to go down.
Yeah, it does like to fly. Kind of what you want from a plane, but also sort of not what you want sometimes.
Already on the brakes, so. The braking force is real.
Braking force is ridiculous.
I turned it on to reverse before we landed. So, and I just started to like go, I wonder if this will cause us a nosedive. I'll calm it down when we hit the deck.
So about that square runway.
The Go XLR fader is bouncing up and down violently. That's helpful. It's landing, dude.
I'm pretty chuffed with that. I'm pretty chuffed with what we've done, to be honest. Like, we managed to actually, admittedly, 99% of the control setup is you, but we built a plane that properly works and flies nicely.
Well, no, to be fair, to begin with, it didn't need any complex control setup. You could have done that. It flew without any complexity to it. And it's only recently that this thing's got anything more than just some basic controls.
Yeah. I'm always going to be chuffed with this plane, I think.
One of our 3 axes was set up AU, so no.
So happy. We have a runway. We have a plane.
A runway, we have a plane. The plane is not utterly garbage.
I mean, it certainly could use some looks, but I think it's got a degree of charm that I don't really want to change the looks
Oh,
now.
yeah, 100%. 100%, Mr. Spursy.
Oh,
No
it's also
question.
moving. Oh. Turn for me, please. Turn. Turn. Is the wheel turned? Oh, the wheel is... Oh. Oh. That's interesting. We might need some limits on the angle that the wheel can turn.
The rear one?
Yeah.
The rear one has limits.
They're 90 degrees. It was square onto the direction of
it
plane.
had limits.
I was like, looking at it going...
It had
"Hang on a
limits,
second."
Splincy. They may be gone now.
Also, we are sort
That's
of
not 90
sinking
degrees.
into the ground, aren't we?
What you need is your co-pilot.
Oh, is that where the clamp was? What I could do to the wheels? Oh, it was! It's not for the aileron, it's for the wheel. That's the problem.
Splincy,
Yes?
can you turn the wheel the correct direction, please? Thank you.
Sorry, I was coding.
We're slowly crab walking our way off the runway. You'll be so good.
Oh no. It's so much worse than... Oh no, that's alright. Never mind. I should look at the direction the craft is going rather than the direction the wheel's going for when I press W and D.
Yeah, these blocks have some... What blocks? This is concrete, right?
Yeah.
These have some weird collision and physics because we are gliding for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. I don't know what we can do about that, if anything.
Probably not, just commenting that it's weird and slidey.
I'm interested what's going to happen when we get off the end of the runway and whether we suddenly get a boost of speed as the wheels gain friction. Oh, one of them's just popped up out of the runway. Both of them have? No. Now they're back in.
Oh, interesting. Look. It's towards the middle of the block.
Yeah, I wonder if making the runway thicker might make the collisions work more reliably.
Yeah, bits of this don't and do have collisions.
Yeah.
Oh, Splitsy.
Yeah?
We have a problem. Oh wait, no, I found my way out. Whee! Let's go, baby. Drift plane, drift plane.
Having steering on all three wheels is certainly
It's
a thing.
fantastic. I don't know what you're talking about. As long as we coordinate it, we can actually turn. The rest of the time, we just drift.
Yep.
This is appropriate. Look how tight that was for a plane. That's a turning circle.
You know what we got to do now?
What?
Get onto the runway and take off on the runway.
Drift back towards the base.
Oh, crunch.
It's fine. We're all fine. Can you give us the beans, Mr. Splezzy? No, but... That's not how we take off, Splezzy. That's not how it goes. Reverse. Maximum reverse.
Turned off the thrust.
Balanced again. Maximum reversed is not much because we're on the slippy terrain.
Yep.
This is maximum reverse. Actual crab walkers towards the middle of the runway.
I have no authority yet because I don't think my wheels touch the ground yet.
Of course not.
Oh dear. It's getting worse. Alright, you ready?
Gotta line up.
I was going to try and help you line up by getting a bit of...
Go cover it and then taking off. Yeah, I got you. I'm staring in. Nose up, Mrs. Splizzy, nose up. Up, Mrs. Splizzy, up. The other up.
There's only so much up I can do when I'm stuck in the runway.
Excuses.
Fine, you want up? I'll give you up.
You may find that the PID does not let you do that.
No!
There are certain you need, this is basic PID system, but you'll notice that, like, try and do a roll. And I think you will find, I think it'll allow you to do a roll like this. If you try and do a... See what I mean? It's gonna start not being happy with this.
Let's level it off and see what it'll let me do.
This, I don't think is gonna be okay.
Oh, no, we're going to dive in. Hang on, I need more altitude.
Yep.
Before I pull that off. Altitude. So that water felt like it was getting really close, even though it may not have been. It's really hard to tell.
It's not a good plane for these sort of stunts. Not designed for that.
I mean, have you seen our angle of attack?
Yeah. No, I mean, it's good for this. But if you see how it behaves when you try and roll, it doesn't roll cleanly.
No.
It wants to tumble instead of roll.
Yeah, it's not the cleanest of rolls, is it?
Not the cleanest. It levels out very nicely at the end, but yeah, not a clean roll.
Alright, down we go.
Not the worst roll by any means, no. But not a clean roll. Wow, you're going from... Alright. We'll retract the drill. which has apparently been running this entire time.
Yep. Power-wise, we do kind of need to come in.
All right, fair. Come on. Oh, it's up, Mr. Splits.
I did not do a very good job of that. Came in a bit too fast.
Look at you with your ability to adjust this quickly. I'm jealous. The lag just makes this a no-go as far as that quick adjustment is concerned.
Well, I fell a bit short, but not the worst landing.
Really? It just doesn't even land on the runway. It's like, yeah, but that was fine.
I tried to, I just failed. So, I'm going to wrap up here, Wasted. You're going to continue on with some eco?
Hang on. Oh wow, that is a weird thing. What the?
What is wrong?
I'm experiencing a new experience, Mrs. Splitsy.
Oh?
Yeah. Wow, what a way of doing things. Stand where you are, Mrs. Bliss. Look at me.
Okay.
Thank you. That's bizarre.
But are you saving the blueprint?
Yeah, but it requires you to take a screenshot, which it then does by popping a like weird little image up on screen and says, "Hey, everything inside this will be captured. Don't worry, it's going to hide this UI." And you've got to drag all the windows out of it and like frame it up within the game.
Right. Yeah, that's a bit awkward.
No, I mean it's just. I won't even say it's awkward. It's just weird. It's just different, which kind of fits this game, I guess. Game is very good at that.
I'll have to... I guess I'll have to make a whole... Like, I might have to come on to the save at some point if I get some time. Make a whole bunch of extra concrete and then try and make the runway, say, 3 blocks thick or something and see if the collisions get any better. Because it is
something's
not
weird
great.
about that. Yeah, it's a shame that the runway cannot be a runway, but it might be because it's got this gap underneath it. I don't know, as you say, if you thicken it up.
Well, I just wonder if having the collisions of the top and the bottom further away, that way
will help. Yeah.
Will that,
so it
will that
doesn't
increase the accuracy?
I know, got you. Especially with suspension blocks where it's a mobile part.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Cool.
On it.
So yeah, you doing some eco now?
I am. I was hoping I was going to get just on the plane, but he's not. He's not buying.
Oh wait, what am I doing? Did you send me something and I've got to...
I sent you a link.
Oh, that's why I got to... Damn, gotcha.
Well, I imagine you've got those noises turned off, but...
I do.
Any person that wants to remain sane for any length of time has those noises turned off.
Yes. So you want me to go admin mode and paste this in?
Yep. And have a quick look at the code and how it flies. Give you an idea. I know.
In workshop.
It does update live. It's quite...
Holy cow. That's shiny.
That did later get fixed because not only is it shiny, but get in the cockpit and...
Oh, yep, this is that cockpit. This is that one.
If you turn glass refraction off, it's sort of possible to see out of it, but only
Oh, is glass
sort
refraction
of.
an option?
Yeah, yeah. You need to go in
Ah.
and turn custom graphic settings on. So like pick a. I've been experimenting with this a bit, as I'm sure you've imagined. You got to pick a preset and then go to custom, and it will maintain all the preset options, but let you turn refraction off. If you mess with anything, his presets are actually kind of good. And so if you start to mess with anything else, it swiftly starts to run really badly.
I see. Okay. So you were wanting me to look at the code of this, which is accessible.
Have a quick code of this. You need drone mode, and it's directly behind the seat.
Ah. So what's happening differently here other than there seem to be a lot more links between various different things?
That was primarily the thing. Is this is the sort of setup where you've got the ability to I'm sending ore values through.
Yep.
And so on, and add values through where you're combining the input from various different things together. So the main difference with this vehicle is it doesn't have independent like roll and tilt and so on. The flaps are all used for the same task, and
Okay.
they just cross over.
Yep. Cool. I don't know how to delete it, so it might just be sitting there next
I know
week.
how to. I know how to delete it. You need to fly it.
Yep.
And you delete it by looking at it V, and it's in the V menu if you're admin.
Okay. How do I start it? Oh, well, apparently that's what's happening. How do I reverse?
Well,
How do I control the wheels?
I think they may only have steering. You can reverse using your thrusters. I'm pretty sure the wheels are tied into the same things as the ailerons. So when you're on the ground, but you only have
Steer. Yeah. Oh yeah, because there's
you
no power to these wheels.
there's no power to any wheels here.
Okay. Here's I can only go forward. Nope, it's not working.
Oh, I see why. Ignore me. 1 second. There you go. Now you can go backwards.
Aha! That is way too quick backwards. So
One spin, two spin, all the spins. At least now he's pointing the right direction.
Oh! My collided.
Sorry, they're the wrong way up. It can take off from the water, just stop the throttle, let it level, and then full wing up, and you'll be fine.
Is up and down on the...
No, up and down, sorry, up and down is on control and space.
Oh!
Sorry, I forgot that this one I realised that we'd had control and space available and not been using them.
No, I can't seem to... I'm not getting pitch authority at any point.
You have it, they're fully cranked up, it's just the wrong direction. So you've done it, it's just gone the wrong way.
But I can't seem to change it from that. Like I'm pressing space, control, and nothing's happening.
Let's see, broke it.
I pressed 1 and reset it. Oh. It is on the arrow keys. There's just a massive delay to the input.
Ah, right. This might be that this is one of these ones where I haven't set the clamp properly, and this is how it behaves if you don't get the slack clamp right. Yeah, it's missing a clamp.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, Mrs. Blizzy, it's missing a clamp. So yes, this is what happens when you're missing a clamp. This is the manifest. Remember right. Okay, I think we're missing something. Your elevators are at the front. You need to do it backwards to what you think.
There we go.
Now try turning in that one. See how it behaves, because that one's got a sensor set up that works for some reason better than ours. I need to work out why. But it kind of auto levels its own banking.
It keeps forcing me back to level.
Without stopping you from turning?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is quite nice.
It does loops pretty well.
Seeing that.
Especially
it's cool
since
seeing that thing moving in the distance. That thing's a flipping hard.
Uh-oh. Yeah, let's see if I can...
He knows the reset buttons, Andy. They're the same as the other craft we've used.
Yeah, I just didn't want to pull a full reset as I was pointing towards the ground. Holy cow. Okay, that's quick. That is very quick to snap around when it does that.
Yep.
Quite a bit of airspeed going.
It does 150 meters a second plus when full chip.
Yep. I'm sure of my chances of landing this.
It glides quite well. You've got about a 2-to-1 glide slope.
Come on, come on, come on, Dad. Okay. Level.
2-to-1 glide slope and good authority during it.
Oh. I think I've just confused it.
You do look like you've confused it because it is now doing loops.
I'm hands off.
What the hell? And it's just hovering in the sky.
And the flaps are going back and forth at the front.
Not only that, but you are not really losing height very quickly. Yes, you have found the correct oscillation value for my PID setup to be broken. Well done.
Yep. I broke it.
At the same time, though, it's stable.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
The reality is you're not falling out of the sky. It's still up there.
Oh,
Can you break out of it?
Don't know.
Oh, yeah, easy.
All right, I've got no forward velocity.
Yeah, but again, you'll be surprised. It glides better than you might think.
Yeah, it does.
Not as well as ours, but...
How's it such a brick? It doesn't really glide so much as parachute.
Yeah, true.
It feels a little bit like that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Yep, I'm gonna have to wrap up there, mate.
Yeah, no worries, man.
That's pretty cool.
I'm sorry for dragging you through that. That took longer than I thought.
No, that's all good. That wasn't dragging. You said just hit V and I can...
Yeah, if you V, as long as you're in admin, you'll have an extra button that just says delete.
Ah, cool. Now I jetpack back. I felt like that was going to be quicker. But yeah, you're playing more eco now?
I'm going to jump into eco for the end of the night. Yep.
Yep. Cool. All right, so let's go raid Wasted.